My volunteer journey began at a young age when I would spend time with residents who lived in senior living facilities. At the time, my mom worked for these places, and when she would work on weekends, I had the option to go with her and volunteer or to stay at home with my brothers. Although this choice began as a way to get out of the house, I very quickly realized how important the time I would spend there would become to me. I spent about 10 years volunteering at different senior living communities, and I was able to learn about how much meaning a simple conversation could hold. I look back on my time there fondly, as every resident made at least a small impact on who I am today. My time there was beyond rewarding, and I was so sad to see it come to an end when I finished high school, but this is also what led me to seek out different volunteer opportunities in college. In college, I found myself seeking out a new community. I applied to volunteer at Children's Minnesota, and I absolutely fell in love with my work there. Every time I left that hospital, I felt so much better than when I walked in, and it was such an outlet for me. I made so many meaningful connections and was able to volunteer in many different roles over the years. In many ways, my time spent there was healing for me as well. Whether it was holding a tiny baby in the neonatal intensive care unit, doing a puzzle with the sweetest toddler in the pediatric intensive care unit, or hanging out with a teen on any of the inpatient floors, I was able to create connections that truly impacted the person I am and how I approach each day. Not only was I able to establish meaningful connections, but this form of engagement led me to discover my career path. As many do while in college, I felt unsure about the future. I knew I wanted to work with kids and in healthcare, but I didn't know what job would fit me best while allowing me to do exactly that. However, when I expressed those feelings to the volunteer coordinators at the hospital, they gave me the opportunity to shadow an occupational therapist. Upon that initial shadowing, I was then allowed to volunteer at both the hospital and a rehabilitation clinic where I could work directly with an OT, an occupational therapist. Being given this opportunity to feel sure about my path while interacting with my community was such a gift and something I'm so very grateful for. Around this same time, I found myself exploring another way to engage with my community. I was feeling more decided on what my path to becoming an occupational therapist might look like, and I began volunteering for an autism research lab on campus with the Masonic Institute for the Developing Brain. Here I was given another opportunity to discover my passion for research in a clinical setting and to learn how to be an advocate for kids with autism spectrum disorder. Kids with autism are a prevalent patient population seen by occupational therapists, and in this new role, I found new ways to spread education for earlier diagnoses and bettering long-term outcomes, while helping to conduct research to better our current detection methods to make these earlier interventions possible. I have had the chance to meet so many special kids, and each of them inspires me to work towards having their same resilience and positive outlook. All of these kids, both the ones I met through my research position and the ones I got to see in the rehabilitation clinic, have impacted me in ways beyond their knowledge. Knowing I'm working towards a career in which I would have the privilege of helping more kids like them, and knowing the possibilities of my little contributions might have on all that they will be able to accomplish in the future, has motivated me throughout college and applying to graduate school. Now that my undergraduate journey is coming to a close and in preparation for graduate school life this coming fall, I'll be stepping down from some of my volunteer roles. These goodbyes have yet to happen, and I've already been overwhelmed by how much I will miss all of their faces. I truly believe, however, that this experience is so hard to leave behind because of how impactful it has been on me as the person I've become. This is something I'm grateful for, no matter how hard it will be to say goodbye. My volunteer work has shaped the person I am today in so many ways. I'm beyond grateful I began this journey at a young age because I was able to learn about how important volunteering is to me so early on. The connections I've made have helped shape my values and the provider I want to become in the future. I'm excited to serve my community as an occupational therapist by using the skills I have the privilege of developing now. I would love to not only work in a hospital or clinic, but also volunteer my services in a free clinic. I have already learned about a program in graduate school where I can volunteer on weekends at a free clinic and provide therapy services under a practicing occupational therapist, which I intend to participate in while pursuing my higher education. I would love to continue this work as a practicing occupational therapist because of how meaningful community engagement is to me. All of my experiences have allowed me to become someone who is determined to make a positive impact on my community one day, and I will use all that I've learned throughout my service journey to do exactly that.